Hey guys, welcome to today's class. Today we'll be looking into angle of elevation and depression. Angle of elevation, this is the angle above eye level. So when we mean eye level, this is a datum. So the angle above this datum. So let's see this as your angle of elevation. So this is the height. So that means that from here to this point is just the distance from a point, probably a point A to point B. And we can even make this C. So whenever you have an angle above the eye level, this is the eye level of datum, we see that as angle of elevation. And a very good example of this is when you consider a man standing with a negligible height viewing a fruit on top of a tree. Now that means that if this is the tree and this is the man here, and this man views this, so a certain angle has been made from this man's eye up to the tree. So that's the angle of what? Elevation. The same thing is applicable to depression. Angle of depression. Let's say you have a boy, you have a bed on top of a tree, and that bed views a fish in the sea at a certain angle. So when you are drawing something like this, that means that if this is my tree, and this is the bed views this fish inside this pool or inside this stream. So that means that the horizontal level is here and a depression angle has been made, which I can see as beta. So this is my angle of what? Depression. See where many students make the mistake. Instead of them putting this here, they can probably come here and put the angle here. Whenever you put the angle here as your depression, I can assure you that your answers cannot be correct. So one scope to know this is, when you're solving questions on angle of elevation and depression, you should always consider that horizontal line, which is the datum. The horizontal line still falls here, this point, and the horizontal line still comes to what? To this point. Are you with me? There is no line that is here that you now assign your angle to. No. And to even make it so easy, this horizontal line can specify the angle of elevation. It can as well specify the angle of what? Depression. Let's look at some questions. A tower standing vertically on the ground, which is 15 meters away from the foot of the tower. Are you with me? Or we can even see it as there's a point, a tower is standing, you have a tower standing there, so which is 15 meters away. So from the tower, let's say there's a vertical tower standing which is from a tower. I can even assume that I have another tower standing. It can be anything. Can you see? Now, the angle of elevation of the tower is found to be 60 degrees. So from this point to this place is considered to be what? 60 degrees. The question is, find the height of the tower. Are you with me? Now, listen. The fact that I have two towers here, I can decide to say a man standing vertically on the ground, which is meters away from the foot of a tower. I can decide to switch this question like this. I can decide to come here and even make this question a man standing vertically on the ground. This is the man standing, which is 15 meters away from the foot of the tower. This is the man standing vertically. This is the man. A man stands vertically on the ground, which is 50 meters away from the foot of a tower. I can even see this as a tower. And I can even reverse it. It's not a problem. The major thing is just to get the idea behind the question. The angle of elevation of the tower is found to be 60 degrees. So in this case now, it happens to be that I am going to, instead of me switching this like this, I can even come here and make this way. You see what's happening? The angle of elevation is found to be 60 degrees. That means that the angle of elevation of the tower is found to be what? 60 degrees. That means there's an angle of elevation made from the foot of this man to this point, which is what? 60 degrees. So the statement here is find the height of the tower. Now you must understand that when you are making questions on angle of elevation and depression, there must be a rough sketch. I personally, this is what I do. When I make a zigzag sketch like this, I will go somewhere else and make a vector diagram, a better diagram. This can be seen as a schematic. So if I repeat this diagram, a good one can come out to be like this. So when this good one comes out, it means that this is 60 degrees. Meanwhile, I'm now looking for the height of the tower, and this is 15 meters. So the question here, which is very simple, is find the height of the tower. That's very good. Now, you must be familiar with SOHCAHTOA. We said that wherever the angle is facing is the opposite. So this is opposite, adjacent. So what we are using here is TOA. Ta. So this is tan 60. Tan 60 equals h over 15. Now, two things. Sometimes some questions require you to leave answers in short form. It's fine. We know tan 60 is what? Root 3. Are you with me? We know tan 60 is what? Root 3. And we are going to leave this in short form. So if tan 60 is root 3, it means that if I cross multiply this, so h is tan 60, which is now root 3, times 15. So at the end of the day, my answer will be 15 root 3 meters. Or I can have, if I put this on my calculator and say 15 root 3, 15 root 3 also gives me what? 25.9. 25.9 meters. So it also gives me 25.9 meters, which is also very correct. Let's see the next question. The angle of elevation of the top of a tower from the point on the ground, which is 30 meters away from the foot, is 30 degrees. Find the height. Sometimes questions on angle of elevation could be confusing. So sometimes questions like this can be confusing. Then it's now a good thing for you to look at these questions very well and solve. How can I go about this? Then I'll come here. So if I say the angle of elevation of the top of a tower from a point, which is 30 meters. Okay, now the angle of the top of a tower from a point. It has been considered that there's a point here. Now I have a tower. So the angle of elevation of the top of a tower on the ground, which is 30 meters away, it means that this is 30 meters away. The point is 30 meters away from the tower. from the foot of the tower is 30 degrees. The question is, find the height of the tower. This is another straightforward question. Like we said, whenever I see questions like this, the first thing I look at is, where is my angle facing? Once I know where my angle is facing, the rest is not a problem, because I now have to look at, what do I have next? Is it here or there? So this is another tan. So this is tan 30 equals h over 30 degrees. We are also going to leave this answer in short form. So if you cross multiply, of course, tan 30 is 1 over root 3, or root 3 over 3. So this is h equals 30 times 1 over root 3. So if you have 30 times 1 over root 3, that's h equals 30 over root 3. Of course, you know it is not right to leave this answer like this. You rationalize. Times root 3 over root 3. So once this is done, 30 times root 3, h is 30 root 3. Root 3 times root 3 is what? 3. So 3 here 1, 3 here 10. So at the end of the day, your h is 10 root 3. So if you have h to be 10 root 3, so that will be 10 root 3 meters, which is very straightforward. Now let's take a question on depression. Now, let's say you have a certain bed on a tree, which views a man in a boat at an angle of 30 degrees. I'm still going to give the same rough sketch. This is my question 3. I have my bed here. So if this bed comes here, it stands on a tree, it views this boat at an angle of 60 degrees. Don't forget that your depression angle can never be at this point. Rather, you have to draw an extra line here. So this line here is your datum. And that angle, let's make that 60 degrees. Now the question here is, if the distance between the boat and the foot of the tree is 10 meters, find the height of the tree. This is a very good example of a depression question. Find the height of the tree. So what you do here is very simple. You come here and say that you have to have a vector diagram to make it so clear and understandable. So at this place, this is 60 degrees. Now the distance here is 10 meters. And let's say this is height. We are looking for the height of the tree. Now if you remember very well, there's a segment that talks about corresponding, alternate, adjacent, and vertically opposite angle. In this case, this is an alternate situation. So this is an alternate angle. So if this place is 60 degrees, remember that this is facing here again. So we have another tan. So this is tan 60. Remember, we are leaving answers in short form. Like I said, it's not compulsory. It is only when it is specified in a question to leave your answer in short form that you do. So this tan 60 equals h over 10. So this is h, you cross multiply, equals tan 60. And don't forget, tan 60 is what? Root 3. So your answer is 10 root 3 meters. So thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in my next class. Bye.